Hey there. Okay, let's have a little heart to heart. If there's one thing people reach out to me about more than anything else, it's this. What should I do when my family is not on board with my downsizing goals? Yes, I totally understand how frustrating this can be. I know firsthand because I went through this many times with my own family. So today I'm going to share my own experience, how I got through it, and a few tips that will work for you and your much slower paced family. So, if you're ready, let's get to it. Hey friends, Tracy Lynn from declutterinminutes.com. And today we're talking about something almost every woman I work with eventually bumps into. Downsizing when your family is, well, not exactly excited about it. Or worse, they're digging their heels in and resisting every suggestion, no matter how small. Now, if that's you, you are in the right place. Because downsizing when you're the only one ready can sound like an impossible situation. But guess what? You don't have to wait for everyone else to magically wake up excited to join you. You can make real, meaningful progress right where you are right now. Okay, so when I first started downsizing, my husband was totally supportive in certain areas. He was thrilled when I started clearing out my kitchen stuff. He happily took boxes and boxes of clothes to the donation center, and he even did a happy dance, I kid you not, when I sent a tote of Christmas decorations to each of our kids. But then we got to his stuff. You know, the lawn tools, the random barn things, the dozen or so unlabeled coffee containers filled with heaven knows what. And when I suggested we sort through all of that, you would have thought I asked him to donate his truck. And that's when it hit me. Even with a supportive spouse, I was mainly doing this on my own. Now, if your family is avoiding downsizing or giving you that wide eyed look of panic, trust me, I totally get it. But the good news is that my husband and I have come a long way. And even though he's not 100% on board, he's close enough. Oh, but here's a funny story. So the other day, he came downstairs holding a little metal watch box and asked me if I wanted it. Now, I immediately knew the answer was going to be no, but I turned around anyway. And he held it up with this like grin on his face. And that right there is my truth. After all this time, he is still not completely on board with downsizing. Okay, so let's talk about why this feels so hard and why it's not your fault. Downsizing doesn't feel the same for everyone. For some, it's positive and even joyful, where for others, it's nothing but work. And then there's those few that it's borderline terrifying. Because here's the thing, letting go can stir up emotions your family may not quite be ready for. And if someone grew up in a home where saving everything felt like security, downsizing can feel like the rug is being pulled out from under them. So if your family is dragging their feet, it's not because you're asking for too much, it's because you're ready and they just aren't there yet. So, my best tip, begin with the spaces that belong to you, your closet, your nightstand, bathroom drawers. Like if you have your own set of bathroom drawers, even your chair where you always sit in the family room. Oh, even your car. That's a good one too. These are the areas where you can make your own decisions without having to ask permission from someone else and without getting into an argument over a metal fruit stand. True story. I kid you not. Sure, these areas, they might seem small when we're talking about them right now, but when you're starting out, you're doing more than just making progress in your home. You're creating little pockets of calm. And when you do that, the whole energy of your home, it starts to shift. You're going to notice it, and your family is going to notice it. But here's the thing, don't hold your breath for applause or even a compliment, right? They're probably still going to be reluctant, but they are noticing. And that is the first step to warming them up to the idea of downsizing. So after you work on your own spaces, then you can move into other areas. And I like to call these neutral spaces. You know, they're like the shared spaces that hold almost zero emotional weight for anybody in the house. Spaces like the laundry room, maybe your cabinet where you keep all your cleaning supplies, the kitchen junk drawer. That's hard to say. That's a really good example. Or even the pantry where you keep all your food. These spots are full of things that no one is attached to, mainly because no one probably even remembers what's in there, right? And clearing out these areas, that creates a quick, easy win that everyone's going to notice. Suddenly, people can find a snack without knocking things over, and drawers close without having to fight them. And these are the changes your family will feel immediately, even if they pretend not to notice. And slowly, downsizing stops feeling like a threat and starts to feel like relief. So once you've got some momentum, then it's time to have a conversation. Now, I'm not talking like this big, elaborate family meeting. No, you're just going to have a regular chat, something small like you would with a friend. Your job or your goal is to help your family understand where you're coming from. Because I think sometimes when they know the why that you're doing something, they're more willing to get on board. Instead of just telling them you're downsizing, explain to them why you're downsizing. You could share how you've been feeling overwhelmed by all the stuff crammed into your home, how you hate wasting time searching for a pen, an appointment card, or yesterday's mail. You could tell them that your goal is just to make things easier to take care of by keeping what fits in your life today, something we talk about all the time, and giving everything that you decide to keep a specific home, because that's what's going to make it easier to find that stuff for everyone in the house. And don't forget to emphasize that you're not asking them to get rid of anything, especially the items that are special to them. You're simply letting them know where you are in your head and what's on your mind right now. Remember, these conversations, they're not about convincing, they're about understanding. And when your family feels understood instead of pressured, things begin to shift, right? They relax just a little bit and they might even start to listen. And sometimes they eventually say, "Hey, can you help me with my stuff too?" That might take a bit, but sometimes it does happen. It happens more often than you might expect, even because even though it doesn't happen quickly, they might subtly mention, like, "Oh my gosh, I hate searching for blank," or, "Oh my gosh, my shirts are wrinkled because I have too much stuff in my drawer." And that is your cue that they might be coming over to the other side. Okay, so next up, let's talk about compromise. Not the kind where you do all the bending, but the kind that keeps your home peaceful while you continue to make progress. So give yourself a few spaces, like we talked about earlier, where you get the full say. And remember, we said the closet. I think we said your car. If you have a desk in your home, like I do, that could be a space, or the nightstand next to your bed, right? Having these areas downsized to fit your life today feels so good and makes a change in you overall that other people just might notice. Then be sure to let their spaces stay their spaces. So if you share a bedroom with your spouse, you work on your nightstand, but don't touch their nightstand. If you each have a chair and an end table in the family room, you work on your nightstand, or you work on your end table, but not their end table. You're just focusing on your areas and letting that bonus positive side effect kind of flow over to their side a little bit. So if your husband has a workbench, for example, like mine, that makes your eyes twitch, or maybe you have kids still living at home and their bedrooms look like a hurricane just blew through, leaving those areas alone is a big deal because that shows you're respecting their spaces. That doesn't mean you're approving of them. It just means you're giving them their space and a chance for them to evolve with you a little more at their pace, let's say. Okay, then once you do the compromise, work on your areas and let them see the positive changes, then you might want to choose a few shared spaces you can agree on together, like the refrigerator, maybe the entryway or the mudroom that your whole family shares, maybe the coat closet. These are like those neutral spaces I mentioned earlier, but they benefit everyone when they're less stuffed or cluttered. You want to set simple expectations without micromanaging. And I know that can be hard because I know it's hard for me, right? If I see my husband decluttering or downsizing something, I'm like, "Oh, why are you keeping that?" But you kind of have to step back and let them do it at their own pace. Remember, you had time to get here, and we have to let them have time to get here too. So you can say something like, I'm going to keep this area less crowded so everyone can find what they need without freaking out. That's it. That's all you have to say. It's clear, it's calm, and it's totally reasonable, right? Okay, so let's talk about one last thing, and that's timing. One of the trickiest parts of downsizing with a hesitant family is knowing the best pace. So some days they're good and you're knocking out cabinets like a pro, right? And other days, one eye roll or one dramatically heavy sigh is enough to tell you that today, well, it's not a good day. And that's completely normal. But here's some advice: know when to pause. If tension rises or anyone looks overwhelmed, just stop, take a breath. Remember, pausing doesn't mean quitting, it just gives everyone a chance to breathe, right? Also, know when a gentle nudge is the right move. Maybe someone mentions that they can't find anything or wishes their dresser wasn't a complete disaster. That's your cue. Offer help if they want it without any pressure. Finally, know when to pivot. If a space is causing stress, just leave it. Go back to your own areas or another space altogether. Keep the momentum without wearing anyone down, you included. Because downsizing isn't just rearranging shelves or buying yet another organizer. It's a shift in how you live. It's looking at your life today and surrounding yourself with the things you need, use, and love, and letting go of the excess you no longer want. It takes time, and that's perfectly okay. Now, before you get frustrated about what your family won't do, take a moment and picture what is possible. Every tiny step you take helps your home feel lighter. A drawer that closes, a shelf that isn't overflowing with stuff, a room that finally feels cozy and comfortable. That's my favorite part. Bit by bit, these changes do add up. Your family may not be fully on board right now, but I promise you, they will feel the difference. Life will get easier and your home will feel calmer. And that kind of progress is absolutely possible. Starting right now, even if you're doing it all on your own. Remember, you're not behind and you're definitely not doing it wrong. You're creating a home that fits the woman you are today, and you're doing an amazing job. Okay. Oh my goodness, you guys. This was longer than I wanted it to be. But I hope that you found it helpful and you've got some good tips that you can start to use. If you did, please make sure to like this video, subscribe, do all the things, even leave a comment, and stick around for more simple tips to right size your home to fit your life today. Okay, that's it for me. I'll talk to you soon.